On a quiet spring morning in the suburbs of Albany, New York, Maple Street looked like any other stretch of middle-class tranquility, tulips blooming, sprinklers ticking, dogs barking behind trimmed fences. But by 7 a.m., that calm was shattered. Inside a two-story colonial home, police discovered 34-year-old Aaron Matthews, lying motionless on the living room floor. A single gunshot wound to the chest. The coffee on the table beside her was still warm. Neighbors gathered outside, whispering as yellow tape went up. To them, Aaron and her husband, Daniel Matthews, were the couple everyone admired: 2 kids, steady jobs, a house they'd renovated together. Yet as investigators soon learned, the story of Maple Street was anything but perfect. Detectives from the Albany County Major Crimes Unit arrived within the hour. Lead investigator Detective Cole Ramirez described the scene as too neat. No forced entry. No robbery. Nothing missing. Whoever had pulled the trigger likely knew Aaron, and wanted her dead. Within 24 hours, suspicion naturally turned to Daniel. He'd been working an overnight shift at a logistics depot 20 miles away, clocked in until 6:12 a.m., and appeared genuinely shocked when officers broke the news. "My wife," he stammered. "She was fine when I left." His alibi checked out, but his phone records raised questions. Dozens of late-night texts to a number listed as M. That M, detectives would learn, was Madison Reed, a 30-year-old freelance photographer who lived across town. Madison and Daniel had met months earlier while she was shooting real estate listings for his company. At first it was professional, coffee meetings, photo approvals, but messages soon shifted from business to flirtation. By January, the two were meeting in secret hotels off the I-90 corridor. When confronted, Daniel admitted the affair. He insisted it was a mistake, that he'd ended things weeks earlier. But Madison told a different story. In her interview, she said Daniel had promised to leave Aaron. "He told me he was trapped," she said quietly. "He said she'd never let him go." The digital trail told its own version of events. Investigators found deleted messages recovered from cloud backups, Madison pleading, Daniel stalling, Aaron sending suspicious one-liners like, "I know where you were Thursday." The marriage, it seemed, was collapsing behind the polished smiles their neighbors saw. For weeks, the case lacked momentum. No weapon. No witnesses. Until a break came from an unlikely source, a traffic cam. Footage from 2:41 a.m. the night of the murder showed a dark-colored SUV turning onto Maple Street. Madison owned a black Jeep Cherokee. When questioned, she claimed she'd been home asleep, alone. Investigators pressed further. Cell tower data placed her phone within half a mile of the Matthews home at 2:45 a.m. Detective Ramirez described the moment he confronted her. "I slid the printout across the table. She stared at it for a long time, then started to cry." Madison admitted she had driven there that night, but only, she said, to talk to Aaron. She'd recently learned Daniel wasn't filing for divorce. In her words, she wanted closure. "I just wanted to tell her face-to-face that I was done." But Aaron, according to Madison, lost control. Voices rose, insults flew, a struggle erupted near the kitchen counter. Madison claimed Aaron grabbed for a gun kept in a drawer, Daniel's licensed pistol. They wrestled, it went off. "It wasn't supposed to happen," Madison sobbed. Police weren't convinced. The forensics didn't match. Gunshot residue was found on Madison's hands, but not on Aaron's. The trajectory of the bullet was angled downward, consistent with an execution-style shot, not a struggle. And there were 2 used coffee mugs on the table, both bearing Madison's fingerprints. It suggested a calm conversation before violence, not a chaotic fight. Prosecutors charged Madison Reed with second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon. As news broke, the story dominated New York morning shows: the picturesque neighborhood, the beautiful photographer, the betrayed wife, and the husband caught in between. The press called it the Maple Street Triangle. In the months leading up to trial, prosecutors painted Madison as obsessed and manipulative. They introduced text messages showing her threatening Daniel, "If I can't have you, she won't either." In court, the defense argued the shooting was accidental, fueled by heartbreak and panic. Jurors saw bodycam footage from the morning after the crime, Madison trembling, repeating, "I didn't mean to." Daniel took the stand, visibly broken. He admitted to months of deceit. "I lied to both of them," he said softly. "And because of me, Aaron's gone." The courtroom fell silent as he described the night Madison showed up unannounced months earlier, jealous, crying, hinting at dark thoughts. "I thought she'd moved on," he said. "I was wrong." After 10 days of testimony, the jury deliberated for 7 hours. On a cold November afternoon, Madison Reed was found guilty of murder in the second degree. She was later sentenced to 25 years to life at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. Outside the courthouse, reporters shouted questions. Daniel didn't answer. He simply said, "3 lives ended that night." Detective Ramirez later reflected, "People think affairs are about love or passion. But most of the time, it's about lies, and lies don't stop when the affair ends. They keep spreading, until someone gets hurt." In the months that followed, the Matthews house sat empty, a silent reminder on Maple Street. Realtors said potential buyers always asked the same question, "Is this the house?" Eventually, the property sold to a young couple from Syracuse who didn't know its history. The neighbors say they don't talk about it much anymore, but the porch light that once glowed warmly each night now stays off. Madison's prison letters, later obtained by a journalist, revealed haunting regret. In one she wrote, "If I'd just walked away that night, Aaron would be alive, and maybe I could have forgiven myself." Aaron's parents established a small scholarship fund in her name at a local community college. Each year, they attend the ceremony quietly, avoiding cameras. Her mother once told a reporter, "We don't want people to remember how she died. We want them to remember how she lived." For Detective Ramirez, the Maple Street case remains one of those that never leaves you. "It looked like a love story gone wrong," he said, "but at its core, it was about choices, each one leading a little closer to tragedy." Today, Maple Street has new paint, new fences, and new families. Children play in yards where police once searched for shell casings. But for those who remember that April morning, the name still sends a chill down their spine. Because behind every perfect neighborhood facade, there can hide secrets too dark to imagine. And in the end, that's the lasting truth of Maple Street: love can heal, but lies can kill.